Greetings everyone! We will be discussing Shintoism in today's video. We will learn about their history, cultural background, elements, rituals, sects, and a lot more in this video. Are you ready? Let's begin. First, let us know the definition of Shintoism.
Shinto is a religion from Japan, classified as an East Asian religion. By scholars of religion, its practitioners often regard it as Japan's indigenous religion and as a nature religion. Scholars sometimes call its practitioners Shintoists, although adherents rarely use that term themselves. There is no central authority and control of Shinto, with much diversity of belief and practice evident among practitioners. A polytheistic and animistic religion, Shinto revolves around supernatural entities called the kami. The kami are believed to inhabit all things, including forces of nature and prominent landscape locations.
Now, let us proceed by its history and cultural background.
Shinto was created for the native religion to distinguish it from Buddhism and Confucianism, which has been introduced from China. Shinto was rapidly overshadowed by Buddhism, and the native gods were generally regarded as manifestation of Buddha in a previous state of existence. Shinto, the way of the gods, is Japan's native belief system and predates historical records. The many practices, attitudes, and institutions that have developed to make up Shinto revolve around the Japanese land and seasons, and their relation with the human inhabitants.
Shintoism's elements of religion.
Expressions of Shinto beliefs toward nature include the recognition of a divine spirit or kami in venerable old trees, large mountains, and tall waterfalls, as well as celebrations of the highlights of each season. This reverence is often expressed by the placement of a small shrine next to the natural element being celebrated or garlanding it with a white robe. Traditionally, Shinto also involves purification rites and customs to overcome the polluting effects of death and decay.
Highlights of Shintoism.
The main beliefs of Shinto are importance of purity, harmony, respect for nature, family, respect, and subordination of the individual before the group. There are many Shinto gods or spirits, and these have shrines dedicated to them where people offer food, money, and prayers.
Shintoism's rituals.
Jichinsai Jimatsuri. Jichinsai are ceremonies held before the construction of a building, business, or private in Japan. The aim is to purify the ground, worship the local kami, and pray for safety during construction. Narito. Narito are Shinto ritual prayers that are addressed directly to the kami during formal ceremonies. They are recited by a priest on behalf of the worshippers. The narito are spoken in formal Japanese phrases of great beauty. Shinto believes that certain words have spiritual power if properly spoken, and this style of language is used because of a belief that using these beautiful, correct words will bring about good. During the state Shinto period, formal prayers were laid down by the government, but priests can now use any appropriate prayers or can compose their own. Narito include the Yugoto, which is a blessing specifically for the preservation of the imperial reign. The Nakatomi no Yugoto is pronounced on the day of the emperor's accession to the throne. Typical ritual. The conventional order of events in many Shinto festival rituals is as follows. Purification. This takes place before the main ceremony. Adoration, bowing to the altar. Opening of the sanctuary. Presentation of food offerings. Meat cannot be used as an offering. Prayers. The form of prayers dates from the 10th century CE. Music and dance. Offerings. These are symbolic and consist of twigs of a sacred tree, bearing of white paper. Removal of offerings. Closing the sanctuary. Final adoration. Sermon option. Ceremonial meal. This is often reduced to ceremonial sake drinking.
Shintoism sects.
Although Japanese Shinto is often referred to in a broad sense, there are three major Shinto denominations: Jinja, Kyoha, and Minzoku. Jinja Shinto, or the Shrine Sect, is the oldest denomination and is the most traditional form of Shintoism.
Let us now proceed to the conclusion.
Shinto is a very interesting religion. There are many things that intrigued me while doing this video. It's interesting to me that Shinto, which is one of the least organized religions, has been one of the only religions to be continually worshipped by the majority of people where it's from. Christianity and Islam both took over places that were previously made up of people that had totally different views on spiritual matters. Most of the world that became Christian was previously polytheistic, except of course the Jews. Unlike that, for as long as we can tell, Shinto has been the main religion in Japan. I can understand why it lasted so long because there are a lot of things I like about Shinto. The main thing I like about Shinto is the optimistic view on life it has. If you do good things will happen to you. A good life will send you to heaven. These are some of the beliefs. Another thing I like about Shinto is the simplicity of it.
References of Shintoism.
Practices and beliefs. Ancestor worship. From World of Sociology. Ancestor worship is the religious or cult practice of honoring dead spirits who are regarded as ancestors. Deities. Amaterasu. From Bloomsbury Dictionary of Myth. Amaterasu's birth. Amaterasu, goddess of the sun in Japanese myth, was Izanagi's daughter. See Izanami and Izanagi. Susanoo. From Bloomsbury Dictionary of Myth. Susanoo, the storm god in Japanese myth, was born from the water drops when Izanagi washed his nose to rid himself of the pollution of the underworld. Tsukiyomi. From Bloomsbury Dictionary of Myth. Tsukiyomi, moon counter or Tsukiyomi, moon bow in Japanese myth, was created from the water drops which fell from Izanagi's right eye when he washed himself after visiting Yomi, the underworld. Izanagi and Izanami. From Bloomsbury Dictionary of Myth. The beginning of creation. Izanami, she who invites, and Izanagi, he who invites in Japanese myth, were the last pair of deities to grow on Yumashia Shikabaiko hide the celestial reed at the beginning of the universe. Okunanushi. From Bloomsbury Dictionary of Myth. Okunanushi, oath ruler in Japanese myth, was the god of healing and sorcery. In some accounts he was one of Susanoo's sons, in others the same person as Daikoku, god of wealth.
That would be all for today's vlog. I hope you gained some knowledge from watching this video. Goodbye.